wanted to share my low carb, high fat zoodle recipe with you. It's a great recipe for the winter. You'll have leftovers for tomorrow. It'll take a little time, but it's so worth it. Who's gonna say no to that?
I'm recording.
To take a little bit of water out of those noodles, otherwise you're going to end up with soupy noodles in the oven. And the way I do it is I sprinkle just a little bit of salt on the noodles, not a lot, and make sure that you don't overdo it because some of the salt is going to stay in these noodles, so it might ruin your recipe. So maybe just like half a teaspoon or maybe less, depending. If you have an intolerance for salt, I would say to just try to drain your noodles as much as possible between some Bounty towels or some kind of paper towels. It'll flush out some of the excess water. You don't have to put in the salt, but this is the way I do it. So I'm gonna take my noodles and I'm gonna put a base or a bowl on the bottom, throw them into a colander and put some pressure on them. So what I do is I just put a whole bunch of things in here and it causes pressure on the noodles, and in a few minutes you're gonna have some water on the bottom. So we have a box of these beautiful mushrooms, but they're kind of dirty. So I just wanted to let you know the easiest way to wipe down a mushroom before cutting it, don't rinse it under water because you're going to get a lot of water out of the mushroom in your recipe and you don't want to water it down. So just take a wet paper towel, clean the surface of your mushroom, and you're ready to cut. So I wanted want to show you how much water has dripped out of the noodles. Come see. All of that water would have been in your recipe. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take some towels and just drape them over, tap them dry, and put them in the bowl. One tip, if you want your noodles not to be so soupy, another tip is xanthan gum. I normally put 1/8 of a teaspoon into my sauce before putting the noodles in, and it just forms a nice thick sauce around the noodles. And the next day, it just congeals so nicely. And you won't taste it. Xantham gum. So you're going to bake this for about 25 to 30 minutes depending on your oven or how toasty and roasty you want it. Let it cool down before serving, and this can be a vegetarian dish. You do not have to put the ground turkey in it. It can transform into so many different recipes depending on what vegetables you want to put into it, what kind of cheeses you want to put into it. It's a great recipe for the winter. You can keep it in your freezer after it cools for about a week. I would only keep it for about a week. But it's a great recipe. It takes a little bit of work, but if you make enough of it, you can have it all week. You can have it this week and next week. Hope you make it and enjoy. Bye.